keep one of them ghetto boys like Bushwick. That's the mentality that keep niggas sick. Come on, dog. You think you're a pit? You meant to grow here, and that's what you pick? Don't worry about me, nigga. See, that is your problem. You always run to your mouth. Remember when mom had that electric problem? Did you help her out? Dewan died, nigga Doody died, nigga Kussy died, nigga Debo died, and you could have been with him if you didn't make it out that job. Remember when you... What it do? It's your boy, Chillin' and Gentlemen. We back with another video. Oh, let's go. Man, y'all already know what time it is. We got top 5 ruthless female narcos. Now, y'all know we react to, the narco legends like Charlie, all of them, you know what I'm saying? But this top 5 ruthless females. Now, I ain't never thought of the females, man. You know what I'm saying? So this about to get crazy, but make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, man. Subscribe. After all them years we've been through. Rush Hour 1, Rush Hour 2. Come on, man. Subscribe to your boy, man. How y'all gonna watch my video but don't subscribe? You disrespected me, man. Anyway, make sure you follow me on Instagram and all that, man. You already know what time it is, man. It's time to get to it. You dig?
Throughout history, greed, lust for power, violence, and hubris have engulfed the lives of kings, dictators, pirates, and conquistadores.
Right.
The underworld of organized Mexican drug crime knows no shortage of these traits in the men who drive its activities. Without getting into genetics, testosterone, or psychological predispositions, as the late Robin Williams said, if women ran the world, we wouldn't have wars, just intense negotiations every 28 days. But all jokes aside, Mexican cartels are equally and...
I disagree. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you why I disagree. Because females run off emotions. So they snap quick. Men know how to sit down at the table and really break down. Hey, man, your boys, don't let them come around them. All right, my boys are going to do that. They know how to do that. Girls, what? You know what I'm saying? It's going to snap quick. You see how fast, how quick women get to fighting, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna snap like that, you know what I'm saying? But let's keep going.
Predictably overwhelmingly dominated by men. That's not to say, though, that a handful of women haven't made a name for themselves, equally drawn by prospects of immeasurable wealth and power, albeit with great costs to their freedom and all too often, their lives.
That's crazy.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we give you our exclusive sample of 5 female narcos, ranked from least to most influential. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Hit that notification.
Subscribe and comment. Subscribe and comment. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to cry in a minute.
Bell for weekly content.
Let's go.
Number 5. Jocelyn Alejandro Nino, La Flaca. Jocelyn Alejandro Nino, aka La Flaca, was a Sicaria and member of Las Flacas, an independent hit squad of female soldiers working as private assassins for various criminal organizations in northern Mexico. La Flaca. And
you know how in movies you had a woman assassin? You know how they know how to get to you, you know what I'm saying? They play that role like they trying to have sex with you, and then next thing you know, you're dead. You get one of them.
Okay. Translated as the skinny one, was not too dissimilar from the other members of the hit squad. After all, they were meant to look alike. Same height, weight, and complexion. And they all sported bulletproof vests, gold chains, sunglasses,
not to be played with. This crazy.
Hair. Most were recruited from the age of 18, picked out as prostitutes or crime lookouts before moving up the ranks. Their childlike appearance helped them fool their clients' enemies and could easily lull them into a false sense of security. When they were unarmed and unarmored, of course, they stopped at nothing to butcher, decapitate, mutilate, torture, and kill as long as the price was right. Nino mainly worked for the Gulf Cartel in the zone of Tamaulipas, where she was associated with a sub-branch of the cartel called Los Ciclones. She was employed to carry out raids on members of the rival Los Metros sub-ranch in Rio Bravo, a turf which was actually under the control of Los Metros and which Los Ciclones were trying to gain for themselves. As she made a name for herself as a skillful assassin and skilled sharpshooter, she earned the nickname La Flaca, not only in reference to her hit squad, but also to approximate her to the figure of death, by association with Santa Muerte.
This is crazy, bro. And this is what I mean by women is just as dangerous as men. Men think, oh yeah, she's just a woman. And then you end up dead. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted, bro. Y'all think this a game? This ain't no game.
The venerated Mexican folk saint, also dubbed the Skinny One. The photo you see now paved the way to her chilling downfall. It was uploaded by members of the rival Los Metros gang, mainly so that she could be identified and captured by the Mexican forces. However, it was ultimately Los Metros who got to her first. In April 2015, Nino's body was found on the abandoned bridge between Matamoros, Mexico, and Brownsville, Texas. Her dismembered corpse was found stuffed inside a cool box. Her other remains were in a plastic bag. In the same place, the quartered corpse of another woman was found, as well as the decapitated body of a man. All three victims were associated with the Ciclones, to whom a threatening note was found, handwritten by a Metro Sicario. The Metros claimed responsibility for the murders and posted the pictures of the obscenity online.
That's crazy, bro.
Could be seen bearing a tattoo of one of her surnames. Another picture showed her beaten on the ground with the other victims. Forensic experts corroborated the evidence by concluding she was tortured, executed by a bullet to the head, then dismembered and frozen. She was somewhere between 18 and 22 years of age when she died.
Wow.
Number 4. Maria Guadalupe Lopez Esquivel, alias La Katrina. Lopez, aka La Katrina, was a murderous high-ranking sicaria in the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG. The daughter of a rancher and a housewife, was brought up in Tepalcatepec, Michoacan, where she spent much of her adolescence skipping school and partying. In 2017, she is believed to have joined the Jalisco cartel after falling in love with a high-ranking drug baron named Miguel LM2 Fernandez. Lopez rapidly rose up the ranks, leading a glamorous lifestyle, which she was not shy to showcase on social media. She epitomized narco-ostentatiousness, flaunting rolls of cash, automatic weapons, and her feminine charms. In fact, she was part of a small network of female sicarios in the Jalisco cartel who were favored for their youth and beauty to lure and trick foes. At the height of her power, she had a team of hitmen, one of the most feared in the Jalisco cartel, and coordinated assassinations, extortions, and kidnapping. Her most notorious venture was an armed ambush on the state police in October 2017, which cost the lives of at least 13 personnel. Her sanguinary reputation earned her the nickname La Katrina, after the folklorish figure of death in Mexican culture. But the raid would pave the way to her downfall. The Mexican government did not take lightly to such barefaced audacity. On January 10th, 2020, after a tip-off of Lopez's location, the National Guard surrounded the safe house she and her hit squad were staying in La Bocanada, Tepalcatepec. Lopez and her sicarios opened fire from inside. After a fierce shootout, Lopez took a bullet to the jugular. When the soldiers poured into the compound, they found a frightened, bloody Lopez curled up to the wall, gurgling blood as she struggled for breath. Check it out. She was whisked off in a helicopter, but according to reports, died within minutes of takeoff. She was 21 years old. Her lover and commander, Miguel Fernandez, was promptly arrested. Number 3. Melissa Margarita Calderon Ojeda, alias China Suarez. Born in 1984,
I gotta make sure he said 21.
Violent commander died within minutes of takeoff. She was 21 years old.
That's crazy.
Her lover and commander, Miguel LM2 Fernandez, was promptly arrested. Number 3. Melissa Margarita Calderon Ojeda, alias China Suarez. Born in 1984, Calderon was a savagely violent commander operating under the Sinaloa cartel. Calderon first made a name for herself by joining the Damaso sub-branch cartel in 2005, and through ruthlessness, cunning, and tactical use of her femininity, moved up to become commander of the armed unit in 2008, wielding control over La Paz and Cabo San Lucas in Baja California Sur. She swiftly gained a reputation for violence, deemed directly responsible for a peak of murders in her areas of operations, costing at least 178 lives. To streamline the cartel's drug trade, she bought off cops, kidnapped enemies, and left their
Come on. Now y'all know. And that's why I say the gangbangers fail miserably is they never buy cops, you know what I'm saying? That's their biggest downfall. The gangbangers, I'm just bringing up gangbangers because it's the simple fact, like, you could tell the difference between, you know what I'm saying, cartels and gangs. And that's one example clearly from the jump right there, you know what I'm saying?
numbered corpses at the doors of their families. Her command inspired unwavering loyalty from her sicarios, whom she frequently rewarded with bags of cocaine. Calderon's career took a dramatic turn when in 2014, she was stripped of her commanding status by Big Boss of the Damaso cartel, El Grande, the same leader who had ordered the death of her first boyfriend. She was replaced by the battle-hardened and notorious Abel Quintero, who had just been released from jail. Livid, she took the bulk of her former soldiers, rallying 300 people to her side, and waged war against her old bosses and associates. She also formed a new cartel, the Plaza of Baja California Sur, terrorizing La Paz and Cabo San Lucas as she vied for control over its routes and had sicarios roam the streets with their signature red bikes. The regional rise in violence made her a priority target for local authorities. She frequently changed location to keep them off her tail. One time, she needed to change her vehicle and had one of her sicarios reach out to a contact who dealt cars. When the car was delivered, Calderon killed the vendors to get the car for free, and when her enraged sicario threatened to go to the police, she cut off his forearms, shot him in the head, and buried him in a mass pit along with other victims. She had turned so psychopathic that her then boyfriend, Hector Pedro Camareno Gomez, aka El Chino, left her, fleeing the cartel, and when captured by the police, tipped off Calderon's whereabouts and the location of her mass graves in exchange for a reduced sentence. In his testimony, he claimed that the young girl he had once fallen in love with had turned into a mass murdering monster. In 2015, she was captured without a single shot fired at the aerodrome of Cabo San Lucas, trying to flee the state by private plane. She was sentenced to prison for the deaths of over 150 people. Number 2. Sandra Avila Beltran, the Queen of the Pacific. Sandra Avila Beltran, dubbed the Queen of the Pacific, is a former drug trafficker known for her connection with the Sinaloa cartel and the Colombian Valle de Norte cartel. Sandra was born into the opulent world of organized crime. Her father, Alfonso Avila Quintero, was related to one of the founders of the infamous Guadalajara cartel, overseen by her uncle, Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo. The family relation is disputed. As a result, she grew up around drug lords, witnessing negotiations, transactions, and generally gaining a criminal business sense from a young age. She spent much of her childhood counting cash and at 13, witnessed her first shootout. Despite this, she studied to become a journalist, purportedly arriving late for every university class. Classmates remember her as quiet, untrusting, and with few friends, but whose dress sense and even the cars she was dropped off in all pointed to a luxurious lifestyle. After university, she ditched her journalistic designs and became involved with the Sinaloa cartel, organizing cocaine and heroin shipments. Her beauty and business acumen allowed her to move up the ranks, beguiling powerful men every step of the way. By the age of 21, she dated Amado Carrillo Fuentes, boss of the Juarez cartel, nicknamed Lord of the Skies for his infamous fleet of drug trafficking planes. She married twice, both times to police commanders turned traffickers, who had also both worked as anti-drug.
In heaven, this little girl came up to me. She told me she died in your tummy.
Drug policemen, and who were both executed by stab wounds to the back. She was also close to El Chapo, and at one point was considered head of public relations for Sinaloa kingpin Ismael El Mayo Zambada, whom it is claimed was also her lover. Her drug trafficking rise was mainly attributed to her affair with Juan Diego Espinoza Ramirez, aka the Tiger, the Colombian cocaine smuggler for the Valle del Norte cartel, whose family and business associates were allegedly so charmed by Sandra that she became a crucial link between Sinaloa and the Colombian suppliers. While her associates, friends, and foes were being assassinated or captured, she managed to stay afloat. The police attribute her success to her looks, flirting her way to the top, but also her acute business sense, particularly being the quick learner she was. Her grace and decorum are those of a beauty queen. She fittingly received her royal title, Queen of the Pacific, by the media in 2001, after she was linked to a tuna fishing boat transporting 9 tons of cocaine seized by government forces at the Pacific port of Manzanillo. She spent the following years in hideout, constantly on the run with Espinoza, narrowly escaping death and suffering the kidnapping of her own son.
Pacific.
Fate caught up with her in 2007, when she and Espinoza were arrested and sentenced to jail. But she still lived like a queen. Just take a look at her attitude when she was captured by Mexican authorities.
Su nombre, por favor.
Sandra, Avila, Beltran.
¿De dónde es originaria?
Tijuana, Baja California.
¿Cuál es su dirección?
¿Cómo? Santa Bárbara, 185.
¿Qué ciudad?
León,
¿Qué estado?
Guanajuato.
¿De dónde son originarios tus padres?
But how are you not gonna put the English subtitles in the video? Come on, my God.
De Culiacán, Sinaloa.
¿Qué edad tienes?
45 años.
¿A qué te dedicas?
Al hogar y al comercio.
¿Qué comercias?
Ropa, rento casas.
¿Por qué estás aquí?
Por una orden de aprehensión con fines de extradición.
She sported high heels, wore improvised makeup and expensive jewelry, while being tended to by maids who gave her food, alcohol, and cigarettes. She complained about insects in her cell, asked for lawyers for extra time for makeup, and when prison guards denied her access to restaurant-made food, claimed they were violating her rights to entertain herself during her years of solitary confinement. She reenacted a career in journalism, making forecasts on world elections, keeping a diary, as well as a close ear out for world events via radio. Liberated in 2015, she finds no guilt in making a career out of selling drugs, citing the hypocrisy of world states' simultaneous participation and criminalization, as well as the legality of alcohol and tobacco. She has also become a vocal critic of Latin American politics, with particular emphasis on corruption. Number 1. Enedina Arellano Felix, aka the Godmother, or simply the Boss, is currently the top boss of the Tijuana cartel, making her the highest ranking female drug lord in the history of Mexican crime, and one of the first female cartel bosses in human history. Enedina was born into a family of narcos. Her elder brothers worked for their uncle Miguel Angel Felix cartel bosses in human history. Female drug lord in the history of Dina Arellano Felix, aka the Godmother, or simply the Boss, is currently the top boss of the Tijuana cartel, making her the highest ranking female drug lord in the history of Mexican crime, and one of the first female cartel bosses in human history. Enedina was born into a family of narcos. Her elder brothers worked for their uncle, Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, top boss of the Guadalajara cartel, overseeing the Tijuana drug trade. After graduating with a bachelor's degree in accounting, she entered the family business, advising her brothers and assisting them in money laundering and...
You can go to college and all that, bro. It don't matter. If it ain't something you love doing, you're gonna get away from it. You know what I'm saying?
Financial administration throughout the 80s and 90s. After the dissolution of the Guadalajara cartel in 1989, Enedina famously charmed Armando Lopez, El Rayo de Sinaloa, close associate of El Chapo Guzman, who eventually fell madly in love with her. But in the context of the war between the Sinaloa and Tijuana cartels, the Arellano Felix brothers assassinated Lopez and broke the truce between the two sides over the failure to accept Lopez's love for their younger sister. In 2000, the financial brains of the cartel, Jesus Labra Aviles, dubbed El Chuy, was arrested,
He was not having that.
leaving an administrative vacuum, which Enedina promptly filled. Moving out of the shadows and over to the helm of the organization, with the promotion, she carved a role for herself as one of the cartel world's most stable and discreet figures, who ultimately enabled the survival of her brother's cartel. Unlike many women in the Mexican drug world, she cares little for power or beauty and avoids violence as a solution to problems, in stark contrast with her unhinged brothers. Enedina has been described as methodical, intelligent.
That's smart. She avoids that. That's smart. You see what happens? They showed you the difference between, you know what I'm saying, them and their godmother, you know what I'm saying? Pay close attention. It's chess moves, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never played chess, though. But you know what I mean?
Always keeping her head down and discreetly devoting herself to family and work. A Catholic woman, a few words, she wakes up at the crack of dawn and purportedly never swears. The deaths and captures of the brothers in the late 90s and early 2000s spelled the decline of the cartel, but Enedina managed to keep it afloat. In 2008...
That's crazy. So, the video I reacted to of the man that dissolved bodies, that was dissolving bodies, he used to work with her brothers, right? So, this whole thing, the way how it all add up is crazy. Let's keep going.
Initially assumed the cartel's leadership after the arrest of her brother, Eduardo Arellano Felix. Ever since, she has capitalized on her unique traits to forge alliances, secure drug routes, and set up bribe networks across the cartel centers of operations, helping to establish a more business-minded scope to the cartel's growth. Enedina led the cartel alongside her son, Luis Fernando Sanchez Arellano, until 2014, when Sanchez was arrested, and is now presumed to run a looser version of the Tijuana cartel, but with ever-growing foreign connections. And that's all for today. Let us know if you agree with our ranking.
Hey, the godmother must be still good then, because he ain't say nothing bad about her. Well, I told you, it's the smart moves you make, you know what I'm saying? Like, he said she don't even cuss. Like, yo, what? Yo, it's crazy, though. I want to know what y'all opinions on this video in the comments, man. Things that, you know, that I didn't even know in the video, or something that he didn't say in the video. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know in the comments. And make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. It's crazy. You be quick to comment, but not quick to subscribe. It's literally right there. Just help a brother from another mother. Yay. She put you to jail, and guess what? I'm out. Figured out she was playing board games on my chest. I feel sorry, sight. I don't care if she was in trouble, pipe. Saying yes, she loved a tan. Lying said she loved a man. Her name should be Spider because she loved to wear. Had me guessing from the top of my dome like headbands. Everything was really good. I thought we really had a plan. I didn't understand, but it's alright. Some things you gotta learn. I think she was a bird, but I had to learn myself. The only way I'ma find out is when I have money and wealth. She said she leaving because she thought I had love for somebody else. She left me in the cold. She left me in the cold.